Okay, so in this video, one of the things that we're going to try and emphasize to try to get across is how important it is to have a B, and a C plan, or at least some form of backup plan when you're doing a race. And this is predominantly looking at the run aspect of a triathlon. The reason primarily being so that you've got somewhere to go when things don't go right. So often we set ourselves quite lofty targets, and you know, sometimes you just have a bad day, and no matter how hard you try, you just don't have any chance of holding a pace. It doesn't necessarily mean you become a bad runner. It might be because you've gone too hard on the bike and you just don't have the gas in the tank. However, what you want to do in those circumstances is just make sure that you have something there to catch you if you fall. So if we're looking at a half iron distance race, I'll just bring up the screen now. So this is using Training Peaks, and so this is just a brick session that we set some of our athletes, and it's just to kind of illustrate the point really. So if we're looking at the numbers for the race pace aspect of the brick session, so for a normal half marathon, you're looking at just over 90% of your 5k pace, generally speaking, in terms of a target half marathon pace. And so you've got to think already with a triathlon, it's unlikely that you're going to be hitting a half marathon PB. So you immediately want to take it down a notch. And so you're probably starting at the 90% of your 5k pace to start off with, and that's on the best case scenario. And then really when it comes to preparing an A, B and a C plan, you know, that 90% of your 5k time, that would be your A plan, and then you simply just knock off 5% from there. So you're going down to about 85%. So if this athlete started off at 90%, you know, you're probably talking about 420 minutes per kilometer. And then we move down to 85 and 435 per kilometer. And then the C plan, you know, if things are really not going well, would be down at 452 per kilometer. And the other reason you want to have an A, B and C race plan is so that you can build through them. So with athletes coming onto the run, it's super common for them to go out hard in the first couple of kilometers, and a lot of the times that can be where their race falls apart. They flood themselves with lactate, and then they spend time trying to recover, or they keep speeding up and slowing down because they're not able to hold pace, because they've already burnt a few of their matches. So really what we suggest to our athletes is that they start with their C pace for the first couple of kilometers, and that takes a lot of discipline, because your economies of scale, your perception of speed is distorted when you're shifting from the bike where you're riding at, I don't know, 30 kilometers an hour or so, shifting onto the run where, I don't know, you're running much slower, and so you really feel that change in speed. And so the temptation is to run really hard in those first couple of kilometers. So starting with your C plan takes a huge amount of discipline for those first couple of kilometers. It's actually quite hard to do, and then just from there you start to build up through to the B plan, so lifting your pace slowly. And I think that's the key point. Any dramatic accelerations or changes in pace, they inevitably involve flooding your muscles with lactate, because you're going to be somewhere near your aerobic threshold regardless of how hard you're running, really, just because of the nature of the event. So building up through your C plan to your B plan, and if things are going well, you know, then you can lift it up to your A plan. And really it's the mental side of it that is the biggest plus of having a backup plan, because say you aren't on the best of days, just having something in reserve to fall back on can make a dramatic difference in your motivation. What can happen if you're not that well prepared and you're not reaching your target pace? You know, the wheels can come off. you lose motivation, you get a bit despondent. Whereas if you've got those kind of next steps, you don't waste time sulking. You just kick straight into B plan or straight into C plan, and off you go. And one of the things that I think you might be surprised of is that if you spend a couple of kilometers at your B or C plan, you might recover a little bit, and then suddenly your legs just kind of switch on, and it's go time. And so it's a really, really useful skill or piece of preparation. Just having an A, B, and a C plan, knocking off 5% of your target run pace in stages, and then building through them. So there you go. That's kind of our top tip when it comes to race preparation on the run side.